What I want to do is I'm going to show you a live view of capturing each flow pose, but before I do that, I need to teach you how to do it. So it's so easy to say, this is how all the rules, and now I'm going to shoot it, and then I go bang, 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 and knock them all out, and you're left just standing there going, okay, but I need to learn how to do that. So before we go to a live view on the camera where you're actually seeing my camera angle, I'm going to shoot her without taking a photograph. So I'm just going to demonstrate to you how I would flow through just different arms poses and using all of my body language and everything that I use right now so that you can watch it. So, and I want you guys to come up and try something. If you want to try something, if you feel keen to do it, or you want to learn how to do it, or you want the guys want to give it a go, see if they can feel the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Simona to come up and stand just against the wall. Now, the only time I would ever shoot flat against the wall is the only time I'd ever shoot flat against the wall is if I'm doing sort of, you know, I do a three-quarter fashion type shot where I freestyle them into the background, but she is leaning on the wall. So I'm just going to go through some flow posing, just basic, using all of my rules. I'm not going to think about it too much, I'm just going to do it so you can watch it. Any time I want you to ask me a question. Okay, so I'm just going to imagine that it's just Simona and I, and that I've got my camera here, and I'm just going to talk her through all of the poses. Come up onto this toe, so I want you to mirror me, and I want you just to do an up and down. That's it. Now I want you to really fall out into that hip and drop that shoulder down there. That's exactly right, pushing your chin towards me. Awesome. So there's my shot right there. Straight away, I'm going to turn this foot out. So there, and I want you to bring this hand around to the back. That's it. I want this elbow to go behind you. All right, and I want a long chin all the way to the shoulder. So pushing your shoulder forward and up just a little wee bit more. That's exactly right. Now keep going away from me so that you're looking over your shoulder there at me. And there's my other shot there. So I've already got 3 really beautiful shots. Come back to the halfway pose, and this time I want this hand to go all the way around at the lower part of your back. I want you to kick your bum out even further, and I want you to bring this hand up and draw a line across your décolletage. Stop. Okay, so right from there, and then I want you to look down, so your chin is long and down and your eyes go down your body line there. Okay, so straight away there's 5 beautiful shots, and all I did was changed her angle from there to there, okay, and then I brought her hand up to fill the frame. Any questions?
What is décolletage or whatever that is that you say?
Your décolletage.
Okay.
Yeah,
or your collarbone.
Yeah, it's your diamond. Yeah,
okay.
It's the whole, your décolletage is your collar.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically across that area. So when I said sweep your hand across your décolletage, what I wanted was to not just have a club hand up here. I wanted her to touch down and create that line in that shape by sweeping across. So I want movement, but when I shoot it, it's still. Okay, so from here,
do you go back through and Photoshop out, like, because I know like when I do like this, I get those wrinkles right here. Do you go through and Photoshop and make them less visible? Like when
this
she brings
neckline?
Yeah, the lines right in, like if she
if it bothers me in the image, if
over.
it doesn't, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, come back to the center, and I want you to go back into cover girl. So I want you to drop back. I just want your hands outside of your fabric here, so it's not pinching. I can see your fingers on the outside of there as a ring here. That's it. Okay, so when we do our cover girl pose, I want one up, one down, just slightly. I want you to really kick out onto your hip, long chin forward. Okay, tiny little smirk into your eyes. Okay, from here, I just want you to bring this hand up, first onto your shoulder. Okay, so your elbow comes all the way into your body line, and then you just take it out to there. Okay, from here, I want you to bring this hand up to your face. Okay, so I want it to cup your face, bring it around, just let your fingers go out a little wee bit so you can push into your boob line. Long chin sitting forward and over your hand. Okay, from here I want you to bring this hand up, and I just want you to bring it into your hair. So keep using your hip there, taking it out there. So there's another 5. So just using all of the up and down, the asymmetry, pushing the chin forward. I've already set her feet, her hips hurt. We already know that, it's pushed out. You know, you girls were shot, right? You all feel that pain when you're pushing out. The idea is to keep making them work their body, and then every time I bring the hands up or down, I'm making sure the asymmetry is there in every one of them. I can do hands behind on the wall, but I want one slightly higher. Okay, because I'm always looking for asymmetry. So I'm always looking for one up, one down. I'm always pushing that. If she loses that shape in her hip, then if you come straight up and down and I shoot her vertically, then there's no movement, no shape, no design in her body and absolutely no body language. The more I can push out that hip line, the more shape that I create in my image and my crop. So at this point now, she's done about as much moving as she can, because if I move her to the left, I'm repeating the pose from the right side. Got it? So I'm going to move, right? As a photographer, I'll go to here. Now this gives me an entirely different body angle. This time, exactly what you're doing, but change feet. So now her hip's going that way, and all of a sudden her chin is coming down this way. Now I love this straight away, but what I have to do is I've got a club arm against the wall, so I'm going to bring that up and just touch it to there. Okay, keeping the elbow there. The most important part of this shot is to be able to see the space in here. Okay, so if I close that down, that becomes her width, and that is not an hourglass, it is not flattering, it is not slimming. As soon as I bring her hand to here, now that is a version of the hand on the waist, you know, it's pulling the arm away from the body, lengthening the front arm, slimming through here, but what it's doing is just taking it away enough to take the weight off it, so it's not against the body. When the arm is against the body and it's squashed down, it looks like, I call it leg of ham. It squashes the arm down, it does not look good. Okay, so what she can do now is she can also move her shoulder forward, so she gets this beautiful line in her shoulder, and she can connect her chin down to her shoulder from this angle, and all of a sudden that is, you know, you can start using your body language. So as I come around, I'm changing my pose. Now one of the most obvious things is here, is I'm shooting her side on and her bum is against the wall, but her shoulders are off, so I'm going to swap them around. I'm going to push her bum back, I'm going to take her weight onto her right foot. So your right foot step out there, and then the left foot comes up. Now as soon as I change the weight of her feet and her bottom half kicks away from me, then all of a sudden I've got all of this space here and I have this beautiful shape. Okay, but remember, we're not looking through the camera yet, we're still just flowing. So from this, I'm going to shoot this here, and I'm going to bring this hand up onto the thigh. I'm going to slide the elbow up and back. Okay, now that is one of the most important moves that you can do from the front. You're probably better on this camera angle, because if you're seeing this angle from here, if you have your body and your arm is out on the outside, then that becomes the width of your body, right? If you slide this hand up your thigh and tuck your elbow back to here, then your elbow naturally creates an hourglass from the front. Okay, so it's very important that whenever the hip is out, that this arm is around here. Can you see the difference? Okay, so when, particularly in a dark clothing, or any clothing, any blocked colour, if our arms are by our waist, that becomes our waist. If we move our arms away from our waist, then that becomes a new waistline. So we're always trying to, I say, hand onto the thigh, slide it up, elbow goes back. The natural thing that everybody does here is they slide up and pin their shoulder back. Everybody does it. So the idea is that you relax your shoulders down, hand goes onto the thigh, slide up, elbow back. And then you've got an hourglass. So right here from the front, I still want to see this hand and I still want to see the shoulder, but the only thing I'm going to see between her arm and her shoulder is her breastline and her waistline, right? Okay, so from here, I've got a dead arm in the front. So I've got to put a slight bend on that, and I just say touch down there, because what that does is that enhances her hourglass right from the start, and then I can bring the chin down. So I can photograph this flat against the wall, nice and close, and get a beautiful slimming line, 45 degrees with a leading shoulder, or I can come around all the way around and photograph this different ways. What I can do with the hands here is, keeping the body there, I can hold elbows. Okay, so we hold elbows just below the breast line. And now let's transfer, take the weight onto your shoulder, let's transfer our feet and just kick our booty back. And as soon as you kick the booty back there, I get this beautiful hourglass line shoot straight down the wall. Okay, so how many shots have we taken from around there to now? Yeah, so we've got 15 good shots. So if we're controlling the expression and we're using our composition, so we're going in and out with our composition, we've got 15 sellable shots, and she has not moved yet. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's do that sequence again, and let's count the shots, but let's do it in one flow. So I'm not going to talk to you about it. I'm just going to count the photographs, okay? So I'm just going to take them, and we're not trying to look at shots here. We're trying to look at how I'm flowing and posing and directing her. This is really easy to learn. Okay, from here, I want you to come up onto this toe and bring this knee across, and I want you one hand up, one hand down. So about here, working that body forward. That's it, long chin towards me, little wee twinkle in the eyes. Click, beautiful. From there, I want you to turn out. I want you to drop your knee out there. I want you to push your booty back. I want you to slide this hand around. I want this hand down onto your thigh, and I want you to work that front shoulder. Long chin forward. 2. I want you to turn away from me. I want this hand to come long. I want you to bring your chin around to me and work that shoulder forward. 3. I want you to turn back to the front. I want you to do a really high hourglass, nice close cover girl shot, chin forward. I'm going to get the fan. I'm going to blow her hair if she has long hair. Okay, I'm going to take a nice crop, nice and tall through the neck, drop your shoulders down, long chin towards me, and I'm going to shoot it slightly asymmetrical because that's the only time I ever shoot symmetrically with hands. I'm asymmetrical in my composition. 4. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to just touch down, okay, across your décolletage to the outside of your shoulder. 5. Give me a beautiful smile. 6. Okay, from here, I want you to bring this hand up and just cup your face. Push into your boob line. That's a girl. Okay, straighten your head up to me. Straighten it this way. Bring your chin around. I just want you to touch. That's it, so about there. Now long chin towards me. Just tip that way a little wee bit. Okay, 7, I want you to bring this in and just touch up to here. I want you to really work your body. That's it. 8, and then I want you to look down. Beautiful big smile, go, kick it out, good girl. 9. Okay, from here, I'm going to come around to this 45 degrees. I want you to lean your shoulder against the wall, the back of your shoulder. I want you to transfer the weight of your feet. Okay, kicking out that way. I want this hand to touch your thigh and slide back, elbow back. I want this hand just to touch the bottom of your bum, that's it. And I want you to work that front shoulder and long chin forward. And we're at 9? 9. Bang, 9. I want to come around here. I want you to put your shoulder back a little wee bit more. I want you to work the shoulder forward, and I want you to bring your chin down. I'm going to come up quite close and shoot that here. 10. Now what I want you to do is bring that back hand up and just slide down to your décolletage there, and bring your chin around, keep that elbow back. That's it, lots of shape. Now I want you to transfer the weight of your feet only to there. Okay, bang. 11. Now I just want you to bring your elbows together, and I want you to pull away from the wall just a little bit and open your upper body up towards me. 12. Okay, and that is 12 without changing expression or composition. That was 12 different body lines just from one circle around her. So now if I crop this one here and she does a sexy shot here and I crop it almost a 3/4 and then I come in nice and close and get her eyes down with a big laugh, that's technically a second shot. Second shot, same hands, same body position. Okay, let's do the same thing lying down. Actually, no, let's sit up first. So I go and get her to change her outfit. I might change the background colour if I want. And I've got a bar stool and I've got a small stool like this. The idea is what I'm doing is I'm trying to create levels. I call it staggering. When I stagger her body position, she can bring her arms and legs up into it. If that foot is down there, flat, and that one is up there, then the idea is that that's as high as you can be on your toe. Jump up. Yeah.
Painted in.
Somebody painted it in. No, yeah, it's going up. Can you go
I'll
this
just
way?
take my shoe off and put my foot on.
Right now. There you go.
Sue, when you're doing this, do you have your camera on a strap, or are you like just putting it down, picking it up, putting it down,
I
picking
have
it
it
up?
on a monopod
Ah, okay.
with feet.
Nice.
My monopod has dolly wheels.
Like that?
Yeah, no, because you can't take
Oh,
your
dolly
hands off.
wheels. Ah.
So that's a video camera that you can zoom in using the bottom of the monopod, but mine is a monopod on dolly wheels.
Cool.
So it doesn't take up much space in a small shooting space like this. I can take my hands off, but I also have the strap. So if I'm not in my studio, I don't take my monopod, then I'll take the strap, but if I'm in the studio, then I'll use the mono.
Thank you.
Okay, so from here, the idea is, and this is something that I wanted to learn straight away when I started doing portrait posing, is, you know, when you sit, you take a photo of people sitting, and it just seems to be the same pose. Everybody's upright, and what do you do with the arms? And it's never slimming. It's never slimming through the torso. It's certainly never lengthening for anybody. And also, I wanted to know, when I looked at images in magazines, how did they fill the frame up with arms and legs? Like, how was it that you could bring arms and legs up into a shot and make them look natural without doing the old portrait rules, which was this, isn't it? Holding the jacket, holding the hands under the chin. I think there was even, what were the other ones? Oh, come on, John, tell me, what were the old stuff? There were 5, okay? So it's like this. It might have been oh yes, okay, there was the double up. Yeah, the double up there. I still do that, by the way, now. I brought that back. I'm bringing that back. Okay, so from here, the first thing I do is everything comes up onto its toes. Okay, toes are so important. Everybody must work their body right down to the tips of their toes. Also, the more work I give her, the more things she has to think about, the better she is going to pose, the better she's going to pose for me, because she's thinking about what her body is doing and she's not thinking about her photo being taken. She's concentrating more on what her body is doing. And the whole idea is to make her as long and as slim as I can. Everybody, no matter how curvy you are, no matter how short you are, what we're trying to do is lengthen you and slim you down. Everybody. There is a reason that models are nearly 6 foot tall and half our body weight, because you can turn them on any angle and they look long and they look slim and they look perfect. What we're trying to do is elongate you. So always up onto the toe. Then we put the knees together, because from the front I want to create an hourglass even when it's sitting down. And then I bring arms in when they're here, I bring them into the knees. And then I bring the elbows in so that they're going towards the waistline. So if you bring this one through, then what I'm always trying to do is to create an hourglass even when I'm sitting down. As soon as I bring the knee into play, and theoretically I would like that a little bit higher. So what I might do, I'm just gonna use that just for, yeah, okay. So we do not cover the diamond, okay? So you know how some people, I see it shots all the time, and they're sitting down with their knee right up to here, and all you see is this knee that comes up out of nowhere, and then it goes out of nowhere, and it covers into, the whole point of me shooting her is to capture that diamond, okay? To just capture that sparkle. So we're trying to create that. Now, can you see, as soon as we put her hands there, there's her diamond right there, and it's beautiful. Now, what we can do in here, let's flow pose this. Is it okay if I stand here? Sorry. Okay, so for starters, the first thing I can do here is I look at this image and I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm now free to lift this hand up, so I've got one shot there. I can lift this hand up and just come up under your chin. Now, you're not cupping the face and leaning on it. Okay, it's a long neck. The chin is projecting forward and down constantly. All you're doing with this is framing the face with it. So at this point here, I have 2. I have a beautiful shot. At this one there, it can go around the neck, and then this hand can come in too, and it can go up and under, and your elbows can both go on. Okay, and I've still got beautiful shape. 3, I can start using the shoulder and bringing the shoulder in, and I can come around here and start changing my position. 4, I can bring this foot around, so this foot can come here and her whole body can come here. Your elbow can go against there. Your hand can go up on the back of your hip and then all the way around and then down a little bit, working the front shoulder, long chin, forward and down this way. I can create that real fashion quarterly. So kicking your booty out this way, making that elbow because you need a little bit more height, yeah. You need a little bit more height to make that work, and then working the shoulder forward. So as soon as that shoulder comes forward, the chin comes down, and you've got a fashion quarterly pose. Now, as I'm flowing through these poses, if I'm shooting, say, two sisters or a mother and daughter or a couple, at any time I can add somebody into this. So let's say I'm her mum, and I can come into the shot. At any time I can connect into all of these shots. I can come and stand up behind the bar stool, I can flow pose, I can connect in. If it's a guy, he can put his arms around her. If it's a girl, they can swap over and the guy can sit down and she can lean against his back. They can kiss, they can laugh. Every single one of these poses has add-ons. We're going to do add-ons tomorrow. Right now, it's all about the girls. So we're trying to flow through all of these. When I'm here, I go back to the start again. I love this pose here that looks naked. And see, for a non-boudoir portrait photographer, I love this pose when you can just do this in underwear, because I don't photograph anybody naked. Everybody's either wearing a strapless bra or they're wearing a G-string or just underwear, and I'll remove the sides on Photoshop. But I love this pose when you bring both knees up, and then you come up higher with this one, so point up, and then you can bring your arms in here. I love covering the breast line and the underwear line with hands and arms, and that it's a skin shot like I showed you before. It's one of my all-time favourites, and the fact that you can bring hands up and sit. Also, we're going to do curves tomorrow. I'm shooting curves, but jump out, I'll be the curves girl for a sec. The most interesting thing about curves is curves often have big boobs. And in the sitting position, this sitting position works for curves, but the problem is the boobs sit there, you know, and it crowds the plate and it creates no space. So what we do with boobs is we push the arms forward and the boobs back, and as soon as the boobs drop away, you create space through the midriff. And once you create space through here, it's instantly slimming. So if you have big boobs and they're up in here, the idea is you're pushing elbows forward. So what's forward is to the camera, and what goes back slims down. So if the boobs push back and the arms go forward and then the chin comes forward, then you create a more slimming pose even when you're sitting down. So even though this still is limited in terms of posing to the wall, it gives you an entirely different feel, because it can really bring arms and legs up into here, and there's lots of things we can do with our arms that make this sitting pose really sexy, really fun, really fashion, that you can flow through, including turning all the way around. Now, how I flow pose. Okay, am I going too fast? Okay, any questions?
Yes. Do you work this quickly when you are shooting?
Yes, sometimes I have to.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? The only thing that slows me down is if people can't do what I'm asking of them, and then I will stay there until I get it. So let's say Simona's in a pose here, and I get this hand up, and then this one here, but it's just not working for me. I'm not feeling the hands or anything. I'll just keep working them through it. And I'll just keep talking them through it, and I'll take another one, and I know it's not working, but I want the shots. I go, keep pushing it out, Simona, work your chin towards me. Something that I say that you'll hear a lot, especially with me, is when I'm directing people, very, very, very important. These are part of my rules package, but this is part of my personal rule package, and that is, it's not sweetie, darling, gorgeous, wonderful, sweetie, darling, gorgeous, honey, honey bunny, sweetie, cutie, sexy. You know, you are not those things. You are Mapuana, okay? You are TY, and you are Sandra, and you are Amanda. And I use your names throughout the entire shoot. The only time I don't say who you are is when I said you're a good girl. Good girl, good girl. Okay, so I say good girl. I don't know why. It just rolls off my tongue. But it's better than wonderful, darling, darling, gorgeous, sweetheart, darling, my darling, whatever. It sounds so wrong. You are there to connect to a client, and you should call them by their first name. Everybody knows that when somebody says your name, you feel more important. Another thing that I don't ever want to hear is the reinforcement that you're giving your client through the camera is posing reinforcement. Okay, so it's really good girl, working it, you're doing good, It is not. Gorgeous, Amanda. Gorgeous. Oh my God, you're so gorgeous, darling. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. Because nothing reeks of bullshit more than bullshit, right? So I hear that and I just think, oh, like it is not, you're not sweetie, gorgeous, darling, gorgeous. If I put my camera down and I want to tell Amanda she's gorgeous, I'll go up to her and I'll say, I'll zhoosh her here and I'll say, Amanda, you look incredible. Do you feel good? You know, you look amazing. I'm not going to sit there and go, gorgeous, Amanda, gorgeous, wow, gorgeous. It just sounds like crap. And it's not real. Okay, I do not identify body parts. I do not say, oh my God, Amanda, you're so thin. Oh, that's not a compliment. That is not a compliment to somebody. A compliment is when you look in somebody's eyes and say, you look incredible, you look beautiful right now, and you mean it. If you can't compliment somebody, don't say it. And don't throw out the gorgeous, your darling, and don't talk about people's bodies. Okay, because I've been in a room where 4 photographers were shooting a girl and somebody said, oh my God, you're so thin, to the girl that we were photographing. And I went, whoa, that's not a compliment. She goes, yes, it is. I just told her she had a great body. And I said, no, you didn't. You said you're so thin. For starters, all the other women in the room instantly thought, and I'm not. Secondly, the girl sitting there, is that a compliment? You're so thin? Maybe all she wants is boobs and hips and shape. You know, a compliment is, we've got to be really careful with the way we compliment, the way we shoot. So there's no sweeties, no darlings, no nothing like that. And so I try to keep it, I'm quite serious when I shoot, right? Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm certainly not fun all the time. I'm quite serious. I've got a job to do. But more importantly, when you're self-conscious, I've got a job to do and I've got to take control of you. And you're going to get out of my control really easily if I'm being silly.
Question from Radiant. Do you discuss body issues with the women before you shoot?
Women are a spewing volcano of emotional mass. They walk into a shoot and they go like this. Oh my God, I'm so nervous, I'm so excited, I'm so nervous. These are my clothes. I know you told me to bring 4 outfits. I bought 23, but I've got nothing to wear. I really don't like my hair at the moment, although my colour and regrowth probably needs to be done, and I've put on 14 pounds. Well, actually, I lost 14 pounds, but then I gained 14 pounds when I lost 28 pounds because I used to be heavy, but anyway. And then after I got divorced, I lost heaps of weight. But anyway, I've since put it back on again, and they kind of tell you what they don't like about themselves, usually in the first breath of meeting them, because what they're doing is they're telling you what they're afraid of. And so they'll walk into your studio and they usually let rip with everything they don't like first. And I used to, when I was younger, counteract that. I used to counteract it with, but you're beautiful, or you're this, or you're that. Now I just listen. I listen to what they don't like or what they're worried about. If they tell me they're worried about their weight, I make sure I'm posing slim and gorgeous. I mean, I do that with everybody anyway, but I make sure I'm hitting the bit they don't like. If they don't like their chin, I'm pushing it forward and down. Do I talk about body image? With every single woman I photograph, I've had that conversation over 5,000 times. It does not matter unless they are under about 18. And I've realised this is something we grow into, because teenage girls very rarely will talk about their own body image, even if they're curvy teenagers or they've got bad skin. They don't stand there and tell you about it. They might be a little shy, but they don't feel this need to discuss it. But women do. Women want to talk about it. They just want to throw it out there. So yeah, it is a conversation that I have constantly. All right, so any other questions before we move into a lying down?
Just a quick comment from Jenny Brower. Your genuine spirit and honesty are so refreshing. Thank you.
Oh, is that because I said bullshit, Jenny?
People said that was their quote of the day, for sure. Yeah. But I did have a question about none of your items here, your chairs have arms.
Yes.
And so would you shoot with those as well, or do you prefer without?
These 3 items, the wall, the bar stool and the ottoman are all three key items in my studio because I want items that are nondescript. And what I really want them to not only be nondescript, I want to be able to move around them and photograph on them. The only thing missing for me would be a chair like this one, but this one would have been perfect if it was wider and deeper. So if that ultimately had been my studio, I would have a wider and deeper chair there, like that, and then it would make up the three set really beautifully. A wide, deep chair, a lying down ottoman, a bar stool, and then the wall, because those are the four positions that I will use constantly. And the ottoman can be a bed, it doesn't matter. It can be a single bed, it can be a blow-up bed, whatever in your studio, but an ottoman is really, really good. Something slightly bigger than this would even be preferable, but I'll work with anything similar to what I can use from my posing manual. So this afternoon we're going to actually recreate images from the posing manual using all of this furniture. So I'll go back to flowing, but if there's another question, I'll take that.
How much conversation happens before the shoot?
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? I talk underwater. I talk when they come in. What I try and do is when they're having their hair and makeup done, I try to leave them alone because they'll want to talk to me and I want them to connect with my makeup artist because I always hire makeup artists that are still and really relaxing. Did Simona relax you when she did your hair and makeup? Definitely. Did she make you feel calm? Did she touch your face in a way that you were at a health spa that was so beautiful and you enjoyed having your hair and makeup done? And did she make you feel in that state that by the time you stood up and walked into the shoot, she was already got you there, right? Now, if I had been standing in the room, you would have been chatting to me the whole time. You and Simona would have been trying to do your makeup because I'm the alpha female in my studio and I'll take control when I walk into a shoot and I will go over the top of a makeup artist once I walk in the room. So straight away, if I'm in there, it negates what she does, which is so magical, and that's to put you in that beautiful state with your hair and makeup so that I can then take you and then take photographs of you. From the second I walk in, I do not stop talking. I talk through the whole shoot until I usually you leave, and then I just sit down and I go somewhere for a quiet place. I go to a quiet place for 20 minutes. I turn music off if there's been music in the shoot, and I just go into complete silence for 20 minutes. I regather myself and I go back into it again.
So do you always use music in your shoots?
No, actually, I prefer no music. I think you should only listen to my voice, and it's a more of a command and control way of posing. I know that everybody has this fabulous idea. I will address this to the world. I know that you all have this great idea that we're all on this rock and roll set just going, woo, flow posing, and yeah, work at it. We're taking great shots of you and everything is just rocking and we're like, yeah, making it happen. But really it's more like this: chin forward, stop. Shoulders back, kick to the side, just stop. Reset, chin forward, eyes to me. I know it's hard, keep going, you're nearly there. Lift the hand up. It's a workout. Everyone says they hurt the next day. I want to control my beauty images and pose right down to the last twinkle in your eye. There is only one time I ever freestyle. I call it freestyling, when people are freestyling without a prop and they're moving, and I'm going to show you that tomorrow. It's what I do, a dancing sequence, and it is the only time I freestyle. Right, any other questions before I move on?
We can move on. Lots of questions, but...
Well, ask a good one because I'm trying to drink water.
Okay, perfect.
You can come up with lots of questions for you.
In the audience? Go for it.
Somebody was talking about a fan and how often you use that in your shoot. You mentioned during your flow posing, you're like, if she has long hair, grab the fan, and then you quickly moved on. So can you talk more about that?
Everybody in my world would move in slow motion with a fan if I had my way. Absolutely. Everyone in my world would be like this, with a fan blowing their hair. You can't blow bangs. Okay, so we call it a fringe. If somebody has a straight fringe, you can't blow it, it just sits straight up like that. So whenever I see short hair, medium length hair, neither of you have blowing hair for me. Blowing hair is a long hair. It is one of the single most things that Sandra, we didn't put the fan on Sandra because she has curls that come down into her face and they're not made to be blown out. But Mapuana and Amanda both had the fan on them the whole time. TY didn't because we changed her hairstyle so often, and again, hair that does not blow. You got hair that does not blow, sister. So that's just the way it goes. We don't blow it. So when I have long hair, yes. Oh my gosh. Simona follows them around with the hairdryer because it's warm air. I know that you can get professional fans that blow hair, but nothing blows like a hairdryer. It's warm air because my clients are normally freezing. I'm warm. She's in a singlet. I'm shooting. My body temperature is already high. You know, she's cold. So, right.
A question from Lumaroja. Is it important that all the furniture is white, or do you have other colors?
Everything in my studio is white, but that is not a preference. That is my personal choice. I want my images to be about her, not about the chair she's sitting on. Although, when you shoot 400 portraits in a year on a white couch, you get very bored. All right, that is my signature thing. I don't know why, I just keep resetting to white. I like white walls, I like white concrete, sure. I do try to mix it up. Lately I've been shooting in those warehouses and they're all grungy and dark. You know, I'm sure I'll get bored of that. Yeah, like that. I'm sure I'll get bored of that too. But I do try to mix that up. But yeah, white, a lot of white.
That kind of goes into the next question, spot on picks. Just wondering, if you're shooting in the studio, how do you keep backgrounds and props from getting overused?
You don't. You just clean them, replace them, paint them, buy new ones. They're worth their weight in gold.
Excellent.
Yeah, a good prop is worth its weight, worth what you buy it for. Yeah.
And Ariana Niala, if you're going for 25 perfect shots, is that per outfit or total?
Total. I want to sell 25 shots. I want to present 25 shots. I want them to buy everything I show them. I want them to be 25 different shots, 4 or 5 different outfits. Okay? Right, I'll go through another flow. This time I'm going to use a lying down flow. So remember, we're not looking at composition here, we're looking at direction only. So we're just going to try and get some different stuff out by just changing up one thing. So try not to move until I move you, because, yeah. Okay, from here I want you to stand up and I want you to lie on your tummy diagonally this way. All right, that's exactly right. So the first thing I'll do is I'll put them diagonally along a couch, but the couch is 45 degrees to me. So if I'm shooting here, the couch is turned away from me because everybody is 45. All the poses are 45. They're never flat. Well, every now and then, like 5%, 2% are flat, and they're never long ways away from me. They're always 45, so I can see the flow of the body going away from me. Okay, so from here, count my captures, Tobin. Okay, I won't count them, okay, so you keep a track of them. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put your left hand straight down, away from me. Yeah, that's not that far, come back, that's it. And your right hand goes across. All right, I want to cross over the hands so that they're away from me. And I want you actually, this is quite a short couch, so you just need to slide back, yeah. That's it, so your hands stay on. That's it, perfect. Okay, now what I want you to do is work your front shoulder forward and work your chin down to that shoulder. Okay, so there's one capture there. Okay, from there, I will turn the camera vertically, straighten your head up, and bring your shoulder and chin together there, and just give me a tiny little smirk, 2. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to roll up onto that hip, so keep your elbow still and just bring this knee, that's it, tuck that foot behind your knee, that's it. Now that puts lots of shape into the booty, so straight away that gives that beautiful hourglass while you're lying down. Okay, chin down this way, and I want your eyes down your body line, 3. Okay, eyes up to me, working that shoulder forward, okay, 4. This elbow goes straight out this way. Okay, and this one comes back this way. So I want ballet hands in the front, and I want you to lift up really tall, shoulder forward, chin down to that shoulder there. 5. From there, I want you to take your fingertips to the back. I want you to slide your elbow out to the corner. I want you to take that hand across a little bit more and let it hang. That's a go. Now bring the shoulder forward, working that shoulder forward, and I'm going to go closer, and there's another capture there. Okay, so there's, how many did we just take then? Okay, so we just took 6 beautiful frames, just with simple movements like lifting up that back hand, swapping them over. Then what I can do is slide back, so you keep your elbows on, both hands go forward and you stretch out a little bit more, and I want you to bring your chin here, and I'll come nice and close and nice and low. Then I can bring the hands up like this, like a sleeping position, that's it, and I want you to work your shoulder forward towards your chin. So actually take your weight onto here, so onto your wrist, that's it. And that's it, bring your shoulder forward, and I want your eyes down your body line like you're sleeping. Looks beautiful in lingerie, looks beautiful naked, looks beautiful, you know, it's just it's a gorgeous line, gorgeous body line. And if you want to lift the bum up, you just bring the knee in so that the booty kicks up that way, and it looks gorgeous. Come straight up onto your stomach and bring your elbows together in the front, bring your chin down, and a beautiful big smile. So you can make the hands look quite relaxed. So when you're posing somebody, say, under 18, and you don't want the booty up and you don't want the sexy cleavage and all the rest of it, that's when we shut the body language down. So you roll flat onto the belly, you cross your ankles and you bring your knees up, because that says little girl, doesn't it? That says little girl, that says sex kitten. And we definitely want to make that distinguished when we've got young girls in the studio, because we don't want 16 or 15 or 12-year-old girls in those sexy positions. Then what we do is we shut down the décolletage. Okay, so we take away from her femininity by shutting down all the areas that we don't want to show. Okay, and then she lies flatter down onto her breast line, because now we've taken away her hips, her hourglass, her diamond, and then we bring her chin around and we've got this gorgeous young girl looking straight at the camera to us. So we shut down all the sexiness and the femininity that we were creating with the pose. We shut it down for girls. Okay, so the opposite for boys. Everything we do for girls, bringing the line into the body, hugging the body line, touching, everything we do for girls, we do not do for men. Men do not bring their elbows into their body. They do not kick their hips out. They do not bring their chin forward. In fact, they reset to an open masculine position with a chin up, because it's more masculine. They have their arms away from their body, not into their body, and they do not touch down on their body line at all unless it is folding their arms, holding their own legs, or putting their elbows forward with their hands free. Okay, so the complete opposite to women's posing is how we pose men. Okay, so from in this position here, now imagine that that's my window light. Okay, this is my natural light studio, and that is my window light. So I would have shot Simona, hopefully, right on my, no, stay there, I'll just kick you there. I would have shot her right on the window light. Okay, I would have had a really big reflector right here, and I would have started to shoot that whole sequence here. So I've got this beautiful light hitting her, I've got one reflector there, but the first thing I do is when they can't move 180 degrees, we move, okay? So I get up. So if I say anything to photographers, it's get up. Keep her in the pose, get up, and walk this way. Because now I'm shooting straight back into the curtain, into the white light, and all I do is shift her body position to accommodate it. So she swaps knees, she puts her right hand out, her left hand goes head, lifting up tall through the back and neck, chin around, shoulder forward. And all of a sudden, I've changed the entire mood of my image, and I'm shooting into the backlight, and all I have to do is move a reflector with me. So get up and move around. Move 180 degrees all the way around. Do a half circle around your client until you see 5 other compositions. Now, when I see an ottoman like this, I also see not only the ability to direct that lying down pose, I see the side of it. So straight away, I want her to sit off the side and use the back of it. Now, any position where she reclines, any position that she reclines is going to be slimming on a body line, because the whole point is that we're reclining. So the idea here is I'm going to use the ottoman as now a floor-seated position. Scoot your bum away. That's it. Now turn your shoulders 45 away from me. Put your hand onto your thigh, yeah, and slide it back. Lifting up nice and tall through your back and shoulders, working this front shoulder forward, chin around this way. Stop. Can you hear that? Okay, so that is a controlled pose. So it's sitting up, bum away from the chair, elbow on, lifting up through the shoulder, bringing your chin around to that front shoulder, hand onto your thigh, slide it back, stop. Okay, so how, I said that to you all the time, right? Stop. Good girl, stop. Okay, that's how much I want you to stop and listen. Then at this stage, I'm going to connect through my expression. So I'm going to bring my chin down. I'm going to start looking at her with the eyes that I want her to give me in the shot. And then I'm going to start trying to control the expression that she's giving me. From this side here, you can scooch back to the couch a little bit more. So we've got one shot, Tobin, and I want both elbows on, okay? So I can shoot this, shoulder forward, and bring your chin all the way around to me now, 2. I can even slim that down by just coming above the eye line, but we're going to do curves tomorrow. So curves is everything I do with something special added, okay? So from here, this knee can come up, so your right knee, yeah, and I want your right hand to go straight across. Now straight away, you can bring this shoulder in and turn your shoulders away from me and bring your face around to me here. I've got this one. I can use fingertips and lean forward. I can bring the chin this way a little wee bit more. From there, I can drop that knee down, bring this hand across the front, turn towards me and lean across. As soon as you lean across, look at the shapes her body are making. Every time she moves, her body makes another shape, another beautiful shape. And everything she does, her arms are moving away from her body. Her arms are being slimmed, she's leaning, she's reclining, she's creating an hourglass in her body, and she's creating space. Now, when you put triangles in images, they are more interesting. So you're always trying to create angular triangles, arms out, these triangles. All of these triangles are space, and when you put space around the body, the poses look incredible. So when we recreate the poses, and we'll go live view on the camera so that you can see it tethered, actually being shot, you'll notice, look for the triangles, because it's the triangles that make the big difference.